You may have seen my recent Sew With Me video. I was working on some summer outfits for my daughter and myself. They were all a work in progress by the end of the video, so let me walk you through this smocked dress I created and some thoughts on creating more than consuming, and then I'll share what I'll change next time about this dress. But first, here is a question for you. What is a hobby or craft you're hoping to pick up one day? I'm genuinely curious because I've been making a list of some hobbies that I would like to explore. So for me, I'd love to create fine jewelry and learn how to paint art pieces one day. I believe it is important to cultivate your creative habit and strengthen the muscle of creativity. I like to err on the side of creating more than consuming, but it isn't always possible. Notice what season you're in. Are you consuming inspiration to truly create, or is it becoming overwhelming and feeling like a burden? Consuming is a good thing. Think of the food we need to live and grow and be energized. The nourishing food propels us forward. It may even inspire us to create our own meals at home. Since it is summer, it may not be a great season to focus on only creating. Perhaps getting outside in nature, immersing yourself in play, and seeing life through the eyes of your child or friends is what you need to be inspired in the next season ahead to create. Or maybe you're recognizing it is a season to create, to put the pen to paper or scissors to fabric and go for it. Those ideas stirring around in your head deserve to be lived out in practice, but I think it's important to just recognize where you are and going forward in that confidently. Wherever you find yourself, I hope you lean more towards what is filling you up instead of what is making you depleted. On to the details of the smocked pillowcase dress. I've had this floral linen I found on Etsy from another dress I made and realized recently I had an abundance left over. I put it into my summer sewing plans and I love this fabric so much. Etsy is a wonderful resource for unique fabrics like this. Previously, I already prepared my fabric by finishing the edges and washing and airing out to dry, so it was ready to go. I pressed it and cut a rectangle that measured the width of my daughter's bust by 2.5. For the length, I measured her again from shoulder to her mid-leg, and cut this measurement from my fabric for the front and back, and used the armhole pattern to cut out of the dress. For this, I wanted to add a smocking detail to the front and back. I've shared this before, but in case it's your first time hearing about smocking, it is a series of pleats held together by embroidered stitches on top. You can create beautiful, intricate designs this way, and it truly is a labor of love where the details shine. This is my mom's pleater. She got it in the 90s and would sew me and my sister the most beautiful dresses. I'm still learning her ways. You can find these machines on Etsy, eBay, Marketplace, or it would even be amazing to keep an eye out at a thrift store or an antique shop. To begin, I take the thread through the needles and roll the fabric onto a dowel rod, and use this to help feed the fabric through the pleater. I turn the knob and the fabric is fed through the pleater and create these perfect pleats. You can see how tight the pleats are here, and I'll talk about that later in the video. Next, I tie off the ends of the threads and adjust the pleats. Sometimes people stop here and do the embroidered smocking on top before moving forward to the rest of the sewing. I wanted to finish the dress so I could add smocking details leisurely in my own time. So I tied off the threads, making sure the width of the fabric matched the width of the top bias piece for the pillowcase dress. Sewing this helped keep the pleats in place. Then I sewed my bias pieces to the dress, sewed the side seams together using a French seam method, and finished with a hem and the straps. Then I took the dress with me in the car on a road trip to finish the stitching. I like how I was able to take my time and add to it little by little. The front has a diamond pattern with flowers, and the back is just straight lines smocked on top. I don't know if these are really how you're supposed to add flowers to smocking, but it worked for me this time. So here's what I'll change next time. I would take the bust measurement and multiply it by 3 to create more of a full look and give room for the pleats to be tighter together. See how when the fabric comes out of the pleater, the fabric is tight together? There's a lot of room to play with how tight the pleats are. Mine were looser, and although I love how the dress came out, it is something I'll be mindful of next time. It's funny how the more you look at your work, you can always find something to fix and that you wish you would have had done differently. But I kid you not, my daughter has asked to wear this dress every day since I finished, and she's not worried about how tight the pleats are or how the smocking looks. So I'll continue to make her these dresses, and we can one day look to see how much I grew in this craft. But for now, we will embrace the beauty of imperfections and floral dresses that brought joy to the maker and the wearer.